I've been asked recently how I transform myself from this into this, and this is just basically my everyday makeup routine. And I think that the best part is that every single product in my routine besides the mascara is all from the drugstore. And I'm basically going to be showing you what products I use, how I use them, the order that I use them, literally everything from start to finish in my makeup routine. And this is my tried and tested routine. I literally never stray from this. I don't ever stray from the products that I use. This has just been my go-to for so many years now. And I think it's the perfect kind of mixture of like a full coverage but not foundation, a little bit more lightweight. I like to keep things quite bronzy and glowy. But if you are interested into seeing how I achieve my everyday makeup look, then keep on watching. So in terms of skin type, I would say I have a pretty normal skin type. If I'm not having an eczema flare up around my eyes, which I do sometimes get, which I don't at the moment, then my skin is fairly normal. It's not oily, it's not dry, it's just in that in between. So I personally do not use primer. I don't think that it adds anything or changes anything in my makeup routine from the ones that I've tried. So I just don't personally bother. But my makeup always starts with this one specific product, and this is the Rimmel Multitasker Better Than Filters highlighter and glow booster, and I absolutely love this. Mine is in the shade 001 Fair because I am a very pale girl. The applicator on this is so nice. I love it, and so I just swipe a little bit of this on my cheeks, my forehead, and a little bit on my chin. And I don't blend it out yet, I mix. So this in itself, if I was going for a no makeup look, is stunning. I love this product, and I feel like you can use it like in completely different ways if you choose to. And so when I'm feeling more of a makeup look, I have two options. For a more natural option, I have the NYX Buttermelt Glaze. It's like a soft glow skin tint. That's what it calls itself, and that is exactly what it is. Now this is amazing because this has SPF 30, and I'm pretty sure it's actually like 90 something percent skincare. 93% skincare, formula with niacinamide, mango and shea butter. Incredible. I absolutely love this skin tint. I'm running solo, so I will be stocking up. And this is in the shade 03 Cashew Butter. Today we are going with the Maybelline Super Stay 24-hour skin tint, and this is in the shade 03. I love this skin tint. This skin tint is definitely quite high coverage for a skin tint. I don't personally like wearing foundations. I just feel like they're just too heavy on my skin. I just don't like it. This is just a really good high coverage skin tint. So you kind of have an option of lighter coverage skin tint and very lightweight, or a little bit thicker, a little bit more of something ready for you to layer. And I think the main point is to not turn this into like more of a foundation because it is slightly thicker, it is quite full coverage, is to only use a very small amount. I literally, whatever's kind of just on the applicator here, I'll just tap onto my skin like that. And then I like to grab one of these brushes. I cannot remember the name for this type of brush, but I just kind of use any brush. I'm not really fast. And I will begin to mix those products together and blend them in. And I think my favorite thing about the Rimmel is that because it's so glowy, it will shine through any product that you layer on top of it. I just think it gives you such a healthy glow, and like I said, even on its own, it is perfect for a no makeup look, just to give you a little bit of colour. And then because I'm quite a lazy blender, like I be doing circles on my face and whatever, so I just really quickly tap over with my beauty blender just to make sure that like nothing's really streaky or whatever. Okay, and my next step is cream bronzer, and I have 3 options here. They're all pink apparently, and these are all incredibly cheap. I do not believe that any of them are over £4, which is amazing. And I have the Sunkissed bronzer stick in the shade, I don't think there is a shade unfortunately, but I grabbed this in my local Home Bargains for I think £2, which is amazing. And this is not my favourite, but it does the job and it is still really good for the affordable price. And then we have the Studio London Flaunt Flawless bronzing stick, and this is in the shade Brave Bronze. This is really good, again a few pounds, and I really enjoyed this. I kind of just grabbed on a whim and I loved it. And then my all-time favourite, which is regularly out of stock because it went a little bit TikTok viral, but I have been using this for so long. It's the Collection Creamy Contour Stick, and mine I have in the shade Warm Bronze number 6. This is incredible. I absolutely love this bronzing stick. I think for the price it's just amazing, but as you can see I'm literally at the bare bones of it and I cannot get my hands on it. And same with the Studio London, I am pretty low in this one as well, but this one is way more accessible for me to buy anyway. I do really desperately need to go and buy a top up of a bronzing stick, as you can tell. But I think today we're going to go in with the Studio London one just because I love this one. It is so creamy and it's the most perfect bronzy colour. And I apply this each side of my cheekbones, 2 bits on my forehead. I do a little bit of some lines down my nose. Sorry, I ended up getting really cold, so we've had to take a minute and I've put on my hoodie. But anyway, now I am blending out the bronzer on my face. Now obviously you do not need to put this much on your face. I personally just love a bronzy look, and I think, like I said, it kind of stems from being quite a fair-skinned girl. I just really like when I wear makeup to feel warm, like I don't usually feel. And I'm kind of more of just slap the makeup on. I'm not really a specific contour kind of person. I literally just put it in the general area and blend it. And then I like to blend my nose. I kind of blend it slightly up into my eyebrow as well. And then yeah, blending the forehead. I do not have a very good hairline, thanks to Dad. So I, again, just really like to be really bronzy. I just think that it completely transforms my face personally. And also in terms of wear test, this makeup will last me forever and ever. Tried and tested. Today specifically, and every single week I go over to my best friend's farm and she has a crazy toddler. We go to soft play with the animals, you know, we're just busy, we're doing a lot, and she has a lot of dogs. We're just, yeah, bit everywhere, bit everything. And I do my makeup before I go to her house every single week, because then after about 4 or 5 hours I then have to go to work, and I won't get home from work till about 9:30 at night, bearing in mind I got to my friends at about 10 a.m. So that's like a 12-hour window of this makeup, and a lot of sweating involved, just a lot of activity involved, and I look the same as when I left the house. So now we are officially onto concealer, and this is our last cream product, and I love the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and mine is in the shade 05. I just think that this is the perfect lightweight concealer. I do not feel like I've got something heavy and thick under my eyes, because again, sensory, that drives me insane. And this just feels to me very serumy kind of concealer. It's not too thick, and at the same time it doesn't have insane coverage. For that reason, it's not really thick, but I think it literally has the perfect amount of coverage that somebody needs. And this is everyday makeup. I mean, if I'm doing glam, I do the same thing. That's just like a personal choice, but I know people's glam can be a lot more layers and thicker products and eyeshadow, etc, etc. So for me, this being an everyday makeup look, I think a thinner, more kind of natural concealer is definitely ideal. And I just put this on the high points of my face, I guess. I've never strayed from where I put my concealer. It doesn't matter if I've got a breakout on my face, I've always put my concealer, chin, forehead, under my eyes, just like a brightening kind of effect. Did suffer quite harshly with acne for a very long time, and so I always found if you put too many layers of makeup over your breakouts, you're just making them more obvious, and it can crack around it and stuff. So I've just always avoided putting my concealer elsewhere, and I just stick to the main parts of my face. And again, I blend everything with a brush, and then I will just go in for the concealer as well and just tap over that with my beauty blender just to make sure that it's all smooth. And then I will grab a powder puff and my Revolution translucent baking powder, and I will just tap into that and rub it on the back of my hand, and then apply this basically where we applied concealer, plus over my top lip and at the bottom of my nose, just because those are my most common spots for my makeup kind of disappearing. And I don't bake, I just quite literally tap, swipe, whatever, I just get the powder on my face. So now I will go in with my bronzer, and I've lost the lid, so when I'm showing you this product, I'm just gonna basically put up a picture for you. And this is the Rimmel bronzer in 002 Sun Bronze, and I love this bronzer. I think it's really, really nice, and so you can wear it pretty naturally, or you can build it up to be a little bit more, which is again what I tend to do. Like I said, I really just like a bronzy look, so I just basically put this everywhere that we put our cream bronzer. And I feel like on the camera right now I'm looking very kind of like muddy, I guess, but in my normal mirrors I'm not, so I don't really understand why that is, but oh well. And then my absolute favourite part of my makeup routine that I feel like completely transforms me is my nose, and so I'll go in with a small brush like this and my bronzer, and I will do a couple of taps, and then I will basically, I mean nothing like crazy technical, I will just do a line down each side of my nose and blend it up into my eyebrow just to like make it look more seamless, and I will do the same on the other side of my nose. And then I will do some on the end of my nose, and very, very recently, up until this was all I would do, but I saw someone kind of do it like a little bit here, so very recently I've decided to put kind of like a little line there. I don't really know what it does. And then just to make it look more natural, I'm just going in with my powder puff again and just lightly tapping over the powder just to kind of blend that in just a little bit more. And that way you can see that my nose has been contoured, but it's not in your face. And for my blush, girls, this is now when I'll go in with blush. I don't bother with cream blush. I find that it can just become too much for me personally, and I also find that blush just disappears so fast. It just frustrates me. It's a bit of a waste of time in my eyes, but I love this collection blush in the shade Passion 9. It's a very perfect deep shade, and that is my kind of preference. I think because I like bronzier, darker kind of makeup, I also want my blush to be deep and warm as well, and I will just tap lightly into this and pop this basically just above where we put our bronzer on both sides. And then I will just take a little bit and kind of pop that on my nose. I do like to kind of have a little bit of like a warm bit on my nose. Okay, and then for my eyebrows, I don't actually do anything at all to my eyebrows besides brush them through. I went through a stage of using some eyebrow gel, but honestly I just feel like my eyebrows are really, really uneven. I don't enjoy doing them. It's just a preference for me. I just don't like doing my eyebrows, and so I just literally brush them into place and keep on top of my waxing and tinting. I do tint my eyebrows, so then they just look pretty natural. And I was blessed with quite thick prominent eyebrows, so this just works perfectly for me. I find that my eyebrows look too much if I add any product into them. Like I said, there's only one makeup product in my entire routine that is not drugstore, and that is the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. I've just got the mini, and the only reason I use this is because it was gifted to me, but I do really love the Maybelline Sky High as my drugstore mascara, which obviously I will be reverting back to once I run out of this mini, but for now I love this mascara. And it's going to be very hard to talk and show you me doing my mascara, but I feel like mascara is pretty self-explanatory on how to use. And so lastly is my lip liner. My favourite lip liner on the planet is the NYX Nude Beige lip liner. I think it's like £4. It is incredible. I'm obsessed with that, and I cannot find a lip liner shade to compete with that. But unfortunately, I have literally got about that much of the lip liner left, and it's just on its last legs. So I need to go and pick up a new one, and therefore I've lied, because this is also a high-end product that again was bought for me for like a present. But I wouldn't usually use this lip liner, so I guess it's not, you know what I mean? Like I would usually use the drugstore one, but this is the Kylie Cosmetics lip liner in Comes Naturally. This is the closest shade I have found to match my NYX one, but for the price I wouldn't ever dare buy one of these again. I would always go back to my NYX lip liner, but we're gonna just have to substitute her for today until I can make it into town and grab a new one of my NYX. I don't overline my lips at all. I think just because my lips are like fairly voluminous anyway, like I don't feel necessary to. And again, I just don't really like the look of overlined lips, particularly on myself. I just don't think I can pull it off, so I just align my lips like normal. And then lastly for me, it's as simple as any lip balm, and I blend in my lip liner with that. I don't like the feeling of lipstick, I don't like the feeling of lip gloss, so a little bit of lip balm. And so with that is my everyday makeup routine completed. Again, it's not the most natural, but it's also not the most full coverage. But because we just stuck to skin tints and quite serum-y products, my skin feels so lightweight compared to like how it looks, and that is just my favorite part about this entire routine. And like I said, every single one of these products is tried and tested for a very long time on me, so I know that this makeup will last me until about 9:30 tonight, and it is currently 10 a.m. so. And for the price, I mean, altogether this makeup routine is a literal fraction of the price, and to be honest, altogether it probably adds up to the amount of one high-end product. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I do really hope that maybe you got some tips on how to do your makeup, or how to improve your makeup, or just any kind of like recommendations that you take from the products that I use if you like the way that they worked on my skin. And I truly appreciate you watching my video, and I will see you in my next one.